Hey guys, Kevin, Muddy River Tactical. Thank you for joining me. Today we have the highly anticipated Springfield Echelon. This is the first gun in a long time that I feel has really blended a lot of good characteristics from different manufacturers into one package, and I think they really are onto something here. So today we're going to take this Echelon to the range and see how it really performs. Alright guys, so if you can imagine taking all the good characteristics from a HK VP9, a Walther PDP, which is one of my favorite handguns, and a Glock 17, and blending them all together, I feel that's what you have in this Echelon pistol. Overall, it's 24 ounces, it's got a good weight to it, it's got a 4.5-inch barrel, it comes optic ready, and their optic mounting system is quite unique. So it's got different pins that goes in here so you can fit everything from shield footprints to Trijicons to whatever optic of your choice. What that does is makes it where you shouldn't ever have to put a plate on this gun. So if you look at how low that optic sits on there, it will co-witness with the stock sights, and it sits super low so you don't get that high optic that's just awkward to shoot. This gun just feels amazing in your hand. If you look at the grip texture and you watch this channel very much at all, you noticed almost every gun that comes through here, other than the PDP, I have some complaint about the grip texture, whether it doesn't come up here or just too rough, or there's all sorts of characteristics to grip texture. This Echelon has absolutely nailed it perfect. If I could imagine the perfect grip texture, in my opinion, it has done it. It's got grip texture all the way from the bottom of the mag all the way up into this region where your hands ride, all the way up to where your off thumb rides, and on the takedown lever is almost like a mini gas pedal as well, and it's got texture on it as well. So it just is a super textured pistol that's not rough against your skin or hands, but gives you incredibly good grip and purchase on the gun. So it does come with two magazines, a 17 round and a 20 round magazine, which gives you more capacity than you'll need. So this is a perfect, all around gun. It's a little big for the concealed carry side, but there's a lot of guys that pull it off. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off or not, but I'm definitely going to try it. But as far as a home defense, duty pistol, range gun, this thing is really going to be a competitor to this market. I've shot a lot of guns. Walther PDP is still my favorite. And this is one of those guns that I can see, if it shoots like I think it will, really taking, maybe not taking over the Walther PDP, but being real close to that. And in my book, that's saying a lot. So let's put on the earphones and shoot a couple rounds for this. These will be the first shots for this gun. I have not fired this gun. It came from the shop, and I came directly here to let you guys see it on video. So I'm going to start with the 17 round mag here. Feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and do this other mag real quick. Well, if my first impressions of how it felt were any indication, shooting it definitely didn't let me down either. So this tall beaver tail right here allows your hand to really sink up into that gun. So it feels really good and it's super controllable. And that texture where my off thumb rides right there just feels good and helps that recoil. The recoil's super good on this. And with the light on the front, it definitely helps some, but I believe even without the light, I think it's going to recoil very well. So this Hollison EPS is one of my favorite optics right now, but the stock sights on this gun, they co-witness as well. The stock sights have that tritium front, so it's got a very capable sight system on it from the get-go, whether you choose to run an optic or not. But obviously, on something like this, taking an optic will just take it to a whole different level, in my opinion. The slide serrations on this also feel really good. So the front, they're deep, but they're not sharp, which I like a lot because I manipulate the gun off the front 9 out of 10 times. But the other cool thing I like, and this is where the HK features come in for me, on the HK VP9, which I still have as a home defense gun, and I love those pistols, they have this ridge on the back of them to make racking the pistol easier if you're slippery or anything. They've done the same thing here, so they've really incorporated some of those good traits. The other thing I've already noticed is the slide release, which I don't use a whole lot in defensive situations or training. I mostly rack it here, but if you're one of those people that use the slide release a lot, the positioning of the slide release is almost perfect to me. You know, on a lot of these pistols, they put them up farther where it's really, you almost got to change your grip to grab it. On this one, literally it's right there, and they work super good. Going into that, all the controls are also ambidextrous on these, so you can use it right or left-handed. I'm a left-handed shooter. The mag release, you don't have to swap. It's just both ways from the get-go. The slide release, obviously. So it's just an all-around good pistol. Obviously, I got the light on it, so it's got a full rail for lights on it. I think a lot of people will end up with lights on these pistols just because they kind of marketed them that way. You know, every picture I saw that was leaked with them all had lights and optics on them. So I really think this could be a contender in the duty space. You know, the Glock 17 has kind of taken over law enforcement, and the Glock 19 as well, but the law enforcement arena. But this is a way more shootable gun, and I can already tell that just from the first rounds I put through it. The other thing I just noticed, I didn't really pay too much attention. I'm going to take the light here, take the light off so you guys can see. So the texturing is also on the front and bottom of the trigger guard, which I really like a lot. It just gives an extra place, you know, if you ever grip there or ride your bottom hand against it right there, it just gives you extra grip, and grip's always a good thing as long as it's not too much where it's rough against your skin or anything like that. So let me load a few more mags, and I want to shoot a few more rounds through this and see how it keeps performing. Obviously, this is a pistol that we'll do the 1,000-round review on. I can definitely see myself shooting this gun a lot, but today we'll put another mag or two through it and see what it does. All right, so I left the light off this time, so I'm gonna shoot it without the light and just see how the recoil feels that way as well. Yeah, this thing just shoots better and better. So this trigger, I didn't talk about it in the first round there. This trigger is very good. So I've never been, and this is just transparency, I've never been a super big Springfield guy. You know, the XDMs and all that, they never felt right in my hand. The Hellcat Pro was all right. The regular Hellcat, I was never too much of a fan of. But you take a lot of the featuristics of the Hellcat Pro and make it into a bigger version blended is what this does, and it really makes it a perfect combo. But this is honestly probably the first Springfield that I haven't had to almost make myself like. You know, I'm only 4 mags through this, so I mean, we're only 70 or 80 rounds through this, and it's just, I just want to keep shooting it, which I can never say that about any of the Springfields before. So that's awesome in my opinion. I'm glad they're kind of up in their game, and I know a lot of people had liked the Hellcat, but there's a whole lot of options on the market but I feel like this pistol is one of those that they have really blended, like we talked about, a lot of things together and taken the good things out of some guns and put them together to where it's honestly probably the best feeling package in a pistol that I've had my hands on in quite a while. And I'm really, really curious to see after I get to the 1,000 rounds if this won't top the Walther PDP. The trigger on it, it's just got a flat face trigger and that trigger safety. And it's just got a little bit of take up. And then a good clean break. The break is a little heavy, but in a defensive pistol, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then watch this reset. Literally 1/8 of an inch reset. And it's that tactile reset where it's barely pushing your finger out, which I like. And then right back to that break. The trigger even rivals a Walther in my opinion. The Walther may be a tad bit better, but it's not much. And the only other trigger I can say even compares to the Walther is the Canic, and this trigger feels better than the Canic to me. So that's saying a lot for this gun. And then you go back to the price point of it. You know, these guns I've seen them anywhere from $600 to $700 depending on what shop they're at. You know, they're still new, so everybody's wanting to get a hold of them. But at that price, they've packed a lot of value into this pistol. So you say you get a Glock 17 and want to make a Glock 17 what this is, you're going to have a $1,300 or $1,400 Glock minimum. And you're unfortunately still going to have a Glock, and it's still not going to feel as good as what this does in my opinion. So I'm super anxious to do the 1,000 round review on it. I will probably off camera today, probably do another couple hundred rounds. On the 1,000 rounds review, I try to break it up into days and different times where I'm not just shooting all at once and judging my opinion on one day. Kind of let it sink in and shoot it some more and see how that goes. But I think this is definitely going to be a high rated pistol and maybe even be a contender in the full size market. So we'll see. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments section below. If you have one of these and shot it, definitely let me know your thoughts as well. I'm curious to see what the rest of everybody thinks. I've seen a few reviews and things on it, and a lot of people have the same thoughts as what I do with the grip texture and just how it shoots and blending things together. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. Leave those comments below. If you need any holsters, check us out at muddyrivertactical.com and we can take care of all your holster needs. Holsters for this Echelon will be available here in, I'd say, 2 weeks. We're working on changing our whole holster processing right now. We're making our own molds in-house, so these will be all in-house done molds. We'll have it with and without the light. We'll have it with the X300 as well as without the light, and then optic cut obviously. So we'll be able to get you taken care of. Just be patient with us, give us a couple weeks, and they'll be on the website muddyrivertactical.com. Until next time, keep practicing and always be prepared.